Welcome to the beauty school, and today we're going to be doing a video tutorial on brow lamination. So what type of look are you going to go for today, Chloe?
So I typically gel my lashes every day, but it's more of like a fluffy, natural.
Your brows, you mean?
What did I say?
You said lashes? That's okay.
Start again.
Yeah.
I typically gel my brows every day. And it's more of like a natural, fluffy look. We're not going for something darker, just like keeping my brows in the place that I want them to be.
Okay, perfect. Always first by cleaning hands, pop your gloves on. Don't have to work with gloves if you don't want to. And we're going to cleanse the area first. So cotton rounds are your best friend, and cotton buds or Q-tips, whatever you want to call them. Always have a bowl with water. And it's easier just to access because you're going to need it throughout the treatment as well. So I like to use like a foaming cleanser and just with a spoolie and really work that in the brows just so that you know that the area is nice and clean. If you haven't cleansed thoroughly, it's just not going to work. So make sure you cleanse thoroughly. And how does that feel?
Yeah,
it feels okay? So just little circular like motions and movements. And then just remove that excess with your damp cotton rounds. Always go in one flowing motion, because if you're going to go back and forth, you can cause too much irritation on the area. And you want to do a light pressure, not too hard, not too light. Now, what I'm doing here is just running over the area with a dry cotton tip. And you'd be able to see if there's any excess product on that. And there's nothing, so we know that they are clean. And we can get started. Now, the lamination product that we're using today comes in the sachet form. So you can just rip it open, single use, and dispose of, throw away. So nothing, especially in beauty, should be double use, always single use. So use it for one client and dispose of. So this one, because Chloe has probably more of a medium brow density, like it's definitely not fine, but it's not super coarse, I'm gonna leave it on today for around 5 to 6 minutes. So what I do is actually get up my timer or stopwatch and press start from the moment that you first start to apply the product. So just with a soft little sponge applicator. So always pop the cling wrap over the brows, and this will help with the processing time. And just keep a monitor on the stopwatch and of your client's skin, and always check in with them how they're feeling. You'll be able to see if they're having a reaction or anything like that to it. Everything's feeling okay though, Chloe? Cool, awesome. And today we've actually got some special products that we're going to be popping on in between. Ooh. So lucky you, we've got a deluxe balm, which is like an advanced care formula, so that helps to actually build the bonds that have been broken down, so it's much more hydrating for the hairs. And then I'm going to pop a gold keratin treatment on afterwards.
A gold keratin?
Yeah. Bougie.
Lucky.
Very lucky. So it's got a hydrolyzed silk in there. It's going to help to actually like strengthen the hairs.
Yeah.
It definitely assists with growth as well. Obviously not a once-off. This is something that you continue to use in your treatments. Yeah. And that will help with your client's hair. All right. So our 5 minutes. Our 5 minutes is up. And what I'm going to do is actually remove this product with damp cotton tips. So I always recommend to follow your manufacturer instructions. Not all of them. I can't talk today.
Not all of them?
Not all of them will say to remove with water, but I always think of it as if you're not removing something with water and it's just you're removing it with something dry, you're not going to actually be removing that product. So you don't want it to continue to develop on the skin, that's all. Which there's some in Chloe's very front of the brow. They're a little bit shorter, so I'm just going to be applying just a little bit more product. But this is a great example actually to tell your clients that if there is something, pop your head just this way from me, if there is something in that circumstance of some of their hairs are shorter, just let them know. They're not going to be mad that it won't work. They'll appreciate you for telling them, because otherwise if they look at them and they go home, they'll be like, what? Why hasn't she put some there? Or why has that happened there? So that will definitely just make sure that you've got that honest communication. If you over process brows, you will know they will go dry and frizzled and a bit crinkly. It can happen though if especially females have any hormone issues or imbalances. That's a very common thing to happen for their hairs to frizz, even with lash lifting as well. So now I'm going to be popping on an advanced care balm. So be sure to use or just decant enough product, because you're not going to be able to dip this in again. So just gently pop that through the brows. You can always come in and smooth it over later. So as I mentioned before, this is really going to help to build the bonds back together for the hair follicles, and it will just give a really nice hydrated finish. Ever since I started using this with my clients, oh, the results are amazing. Whenever there is a processing time, it gives you a chance to tidy up your space, pop anything in the bin that you need to. You can even do things like scalp massage or hand massage in the treatment as well. It's completely up to you and what you offer to your clients. So now remove that cling wrap, and same again, you're going to be removing the product with just some dampened cotton buds or Q-tips. So now we're just going to be removing the product. Use some dampened cotton buds or Q-tips. And then same again, you'll pop the cling wrap on and your timer or your stopwatch. Now if you were doing this in, oh, I need to do that again. That was so bad. You have to pull off enough of the cling wrap, guys, because...
Is this like special brow cling wrap or just supermarket?
No. It's a brow one, but it's like already in the box.
Ah, nice.
But this is the reason I don't like wearing gloves. I've done it again. All right, this one's better. Now that's already been on for around a minute, so then I'll pop my timer on for the remaining time. This one can stay on, and the previous step as well, generally anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how long you give your clients or the service that you're doing. I have an option for an hour and 20 minutes, I think it is. And then I have a 45-minute to an hour session. So depending on what they book in for is how you will adjust your time.
A few moments later.
All right, so we're time to remove this one off. Now it's normal for the little speckles, if you do use a product like this, to almost stay in, but after you do wipe them a few times, it will come out. So that's not an issue. And how's everything feeling? You feel okay still? Not irritated at all? Now I'm only asking Chloe that question again because I can notice just a slight little bit of erythema, which is like redness or pinkness in the skin. It can happen anytime you're doing any beauty services. So just always make sure you do check in, see how she's feeling. It's probably just a reaction from the product in the area. Nothing to be concerned about because it's quite mild, quite light. So what I go in and do, dampen that area a little bit more. All right, and then we'll go in with our neutralizing solution. So this is the setting solution. This is what's going to help to lock that lamination in place. And now always keep note of how long you left the first solution on for, because it will be the same time frame that you leave the second solution on for. And these little soft applicators are your best friends for laminations. They just make applying the product so much easier.
I've seen the videos of them doing like with that little spoolie brush, like.
Yeah, which we actually have one of those.
Nice.
All they are is interdental brushes. You can even use them if you want to style like your brows with them because they're quite micro. So
yeah, right.
So you're saying that you want your fronts like a little bit more up. Now, some lamination troubleshooting. The ends can be more thinner than the remainder of the hair, so from the base. Now, I always recommend to go in with a damp cotton round, and what you would do is just ever so gently just remove that excess product from the very tips of them. This will prevent the ends of the hair from fraying. And look, it can happen. I have some clients where no matter how much product I remove, the ends will get a bit frizzled, and they just have to keep using their aftercare oils and hydrating their hairs. It can happen if the hairs are just thinner or more frailer. My ends of my brows are much thinner than the rest. So it even happens to me. And then we pop the cling wrap on again. Hopefully we get a good one this time. Yep. How's everything feeling? Feeling all good?
All good.
Beautiful. And some other common errors that can be made when performing a lamination is not enough product being placed on. So if you're not coating the hairs, you just won't get a result at all, won't be effective. You can even use too much product. So obviously an excess may be too harsh. Generally for a thinner brow, you would use less product than someone with a thicker or a coarser hair. And as you know, you improve your skills, your technique, and you get to know different hair types, you'll know how much product to use for each different client as well. So always come in again and use your damp cotton buds or Q-tips just to remove any of that excess product. You can even go in with a cotton round. And what I'm going to do is actually just tweeze out a few hairs just to give a bit more of that kind of flawless finish, which you're happy to do that, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, Chloe likes to keep her brows quite natural, so we're not going to take too many of the hairs out. When performing brow laminations, you can do multiple different things in your services. So, for instance, my most popular is with a hybrid dye. So the time that you would actually perform or apply the dye would be after your step 2 removal, and that's when I would apply the color, I would wax and shape them, and then you would remove that and then pop on the aftercare. Like we're doing today, you can do just lamination on its own. You can, tidy up a few hairs as well, and then you can do a lamination and wax on its own. So it's definitely client preference and what you recommend for your clients as well. So if they do have more sparse brows, I would definitely do a dye. But because Chloe has quite full brows and she prefers the more natural fluffy look, that's why we've done the lamination only today. Now we're going to go in with our step 3, which is a leave-in restorative mask. So this is your aftercare for the client. Now's the time in your service when I would actually go through the aftercare with them while you're applying it. This is super important because not only are you going to tell them what they need to do, but essentially, when they're checking out and paying for their service, they'll be able to see all the products that you use, and then they'll see your recommended products for them to take home and use for their aftercare. Now, same again, you just use the little soft sponge applicator. They're also known as lip applicators as well. Sometimes if clients have you trimmed in the past your brows?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You'll notice if they have some longer hair. So this one is perfect length, perfect shape. But on this side here, we can see that there's just a few more that have been almost trimmed down. So that's why they're a bit of a different or uneven level. I would always, like I mentioned before, discuss it with your client. Make sure that they're aware so they don't look at them and go, what is going on here? But I'm just going to go in and just trim them down just ever so slightly. Now this end here, I'm going to get Chloe to have a look in the mirror and see if she wants me to actually take any more hairs out, because I think it will help to give a nice, I guess, flowing effect. But obviously with keeping them thick, we don't want to take too much out. So always check in with your client. Now, after you have finished the service, this is an optional, just little, I guess, finishing touch that you can do is to pop a little bit of highlight on. You can either use any like concealer sticks that you have, even a pencil. I personally use a pencil at the salon because you can sharpen it every time that you use it, and obviously that's hygienic. So what we're going to do today is just apply a little bit with our cotton tips or cotton buds, just underneath, just to really accentuate and highlight that brow bone underneath. Thank you for watching today, everyone. We hope you've enjoyed the brow lamination tutorial. Lammies, brow lammies. How do you like them, Chloe? You love them?
Yes, I love them.
She did tell me that they looked. Who was
Nicola Pelt.
Nicola Pelt. I didn't even know that she wanted them to look like that, and it was
They
created. So there you go. So just make sure that you follow all the aftercare advice, give your clients as much information as possible, always check in with them throughout the service, and head on over to our website to check out any of the courses that we do have. Brow lamination is one of them. And follow, like, and subscribe, and let us know in the comments section down below if you want to see any more other brow lamination tutorials. Thanks, everyone.